Hello everyone, it's the Urban Window Farmer. Today's episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my plants that started growing in these cocoa core pods, and I'm going to start thinning them out because I put 3 seeds in there and I wasn't expecting them all to germinate. I wasn't expecting 100% germination rate, but I ended up getting 100% germination. So all of the seeds started to sprout, but I don't want to just throw the plants away. What I'm going to try to do is try to carefully pull them out, as you see there. Pull them out. I am going to sacrifice some of the roots as I pull it because some of the roots are too deep. And what I'm going to do is just put each of the plants in their own little pod so that they have enough space to grow, because I don't want to have overcrowding impacts as I do this growing. So what I'm going to do here, as you can see, I took out from the 3 and put 1 in there, and then I'm just going to insert this back into the net pot and just put it in the tower, and hopefully the roots will anchor it down, and it'll just continue its growth process. What I decided to do here is just break open the pot a little bit, because I wasn't confident that I could push it down and not disturb the roots too much. So decided to do it that way. So there's one that's done, so you see there. So there's 2 more. There's 1 more here, I think. Yeah, 1 more. So started off with 2, and now 2 in 1. Now there's 1 in each of the net pots. So I went ahead and placed that in the tower. So those are the 2 that I just took out. I placed those in the tower. I'm going to do a couple more. This one's much further along, so hopefully I'm able to. I think there's 3 plants there. If you can look, you can see 3 different stems popping out of the rapid rooter plant starter pod. So I have my rapid rooter plant starter pod. I'm going to crack it open like I did before. And then what I try to do is grab the plant as far down at the bottom of the stem as possible, and then push up very slowly and try to get as much of the roots as I can. So this one is actually, I think there's 4 in there. So we took out 1 already. Slowly, patiently as possible. If you pull it out slowly, then you can get much more of the roots than if you yanked it. If you yank it, you may not get any roots. You may just break the stem, and then you have nothing to work with. So again, pulling it out as slowly as possible, trying to get as much of that root in place. So this one, there's a nice amount of roots there. So this one should thrive in the tower. Okay, and then the other one, I'm just going to leave it as is. So now I have 3 new plants. So basically there were 4 to start off with. Now I'm going to take the other 3, and I'm going to take this rapid root plant starter pod. I cracked it open already, just so I can anchor the roots down at the bottom much better. And try to secure as much as possible, and then throw it in my net pot. Okay, put this to the side, and I'll work on the next one. Yeah, so I do this whenever there's like an overcrowding. Some people will just thin out the plants and just throw them away, but I figure if I can get them to grow, I might as well just keep all of them. because I have some empty spots in my Martian Tower Garden, so I decided just to throw those in there, and let's see. So another one done. This one looks very healthy, and I will throw that in the net pot as well. And this last one is the run of the group. It's much smaller, but it has roots in place, so without other plants to compete with, it has no reason not to thrive. Okay, place it in the rapid root or plant starter pod, and then in the net pot. Again, I wasn't expecting such a high germination rate. I wasn't expecting 100%. Sometimes I would put like 3 or 4 seeds in there, and I was expecting that, you know, maybe 1 or 2 would sprout, but I'm getting mostly 100% germination rate. So next time I do this, I won't use as many seeds in each pot. Maybe I'll just use 1 or 2 because... Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put these in the tower as well. And I'm trying to put them some place where it will get as much light as possible, because there's on the left and right there's some mature plants that will take up a lot of the light. So in this middle section here, it's pretty empty, so should be fine. They should get enough light to grow. So I placed them in there, 1, 2, 3. On the left there, that's actually a passion fruit plant. So yeah, if you guys have a look at what we've done so far. And then one more that I want to put in. So one more at the bottom there. Alright, so basically done with that. So I'm going to transition this video to about 6 days later, so you can see the progress of the plants. This is 6 days. This is 6 days later. Okay, so this is 6 days later. You see the plants are getting a little bit bigger now. This was the 1, 2, 3, 4 on the left. That's the passion fruit that you saw before in the video. That's also taking off a little bit. And yeah, that's the next one. And you see I 3D printed a cover for some of these. Okay, and then this one, look at that one. Oh, it's good size. And these are, again, red velvet lettuce plants. So when they first start to grow, they're more green like this, but you can start to see some of the red coming out there. So some of the red velvety color on the outside of the leaves. And as they mature, you'll start to see them become totally red, where you can only see the green when you dig towards the stem of the plant. But yeah, just have a look. This is 6 days later. So yeah, they all worked out. I was scared that some of them may have some issues because you know, some plants don't like to have their roots disturbed. That was pretty disturbing for the roots to be yanked out like that. But they were able to start growing again. And if you pull out the net pot, you can see the roots at the bottom, and they're dangling down, and they're being sprayed by the Martian Tower Garden's pumps, and they're sucking up nutrients every day, and they're growing. So they're not quite at the point where I'll start harvesting the leaves, but I'll give it maybe 1 more week, and then I'll start harvesting the baby leaves on the outside. The outside leaves, and leave the inside leaves to continue growing. So that's what I've done. The method of thinning out the lettuce leaves of the red velvet lettuce plant. and I get a lot of questions about what kind of fertilizer I'm using for this Martian Tower Garden. Right now I'm using the Master Blend fertilizer. I've been using it for a little over 2 weeks now. I switched over from liquid fertilizer, and I'm using a more cost-effective Master Blend fertilizer, and it's so far so good. I'm getting very good results, and it's not as the liquid fertilizer that I was using was had a real dark color to it, and it would kind of get a little messy. But this is a little bit more clear, and the plants seem to like it, so I'm going to continue using this Master Blend fertilizer in the future. But yeah, that's what I have so far. And I also want to show you all the some of the other lettuce plants that I've started growing. I've also, let me wait till the screen changes over here. Also started growing romaine lettuce. And one thing I should mention here is I did not thin these out, so there are like multiple seeds in there. I probably should have thinned them out, but they seem to be okay though. So they're maybe about 1 week older than the other plants that you just saw, the red velvet lettuce. These are about 1 week older, but these are nearing harvest time, so I haven't started harvesting them yet, but I do intend to. Probably probably around 5 to 6 days as well, I'll start harvesting the outer leaves on this. I just wanted to see, right now is just kind of an experiment phase to see how well this Master Blend grows, but it seems to grow very well. It likes the Master Blend solution, so I didn't want to start harvesting too soon. I just wanted to get a good look at how it works. But yeah, that's all I wanted to tell you guys, and just a week 3 update. So there'll be more of these updates coming, and I hope you enjoyed this kind of content. If you do, please hit the like button, please subscribe to the channel, and thank you. Happy gardening.